Hi, and welcome to English Today's first vidcast. What I want to tell you about today is really simple. A lot of people ask us, how can I learn English quickly? And it's a strange question, to be honest, but there are certain keys that you can use that will make your English learning that much easier. But before we even talk about learning English quickly, you have to know what you want. You have to know what your target level is. What is your target level? What do you need? Do you need academic English, or do you need just enough English to survive, to communicate? So the first step really is to know your level, your desired level. What is your target? At English Today, really, we talk a lot about the target being where you can communicate automatically without thinking, where you can have a conversation without thinking. That's a pretty good target, right? If you want to get to that level, there are certain things that you're going to need to do right from the start. The first one I would recommend is stop focusing on words, start focusing on sentences. Start focusing on meaning. The words will come. Start focusing on sentences. Does that work? Well, it works so well that Dr. James Asher, who is like the expert on ESL learning, he discovered that actually it could happen 4 to 5 times faster. You could learn 4 to 5 times faster if you focus on sentences. That means learning whole sentences rather than just focusing on single words. So how does that work in real life? Well, let's say you found a new word. What you would normally do is you would check your vocabulary, you check your dictionary, and you'd get the meaning of the word. But then you would close the dictionary and, well, you just go back to reading, or you'd go back to whatever it is that you were doing before. The problem with that is you're going to forget the word. Better, you find a new word, you look up its meaning, and then, before you close that dictionary, you make 3 sentences with that new word. This way, the new word goes in. It becomes part of your language, part of your new language. Make sentences. New words are not enough. They need to go inside sentences. So that would be my first recommendation. It's hard to really... also, I should say that students who learn sentences rather than just words, they just have much better grammar. It's organic grammar. It comes out naturally. You don't have to sit there thinking about present perfect continuous or third conditional. It will just happen naturally. So the focus should be more on communication and less on grammar. So study sentences, not just words. The second thing I would say is don't focus on grammar. Grammar is not English. Grammar rules are formulas, but they're not English. And the danger is that if you focus too much on grammar, you're going to be thinking about English when you're trying to communicate. What's going to happen if you do that is you're going to have a lot of problems. Stop focusing on grammar. Grammar makes you think about English. You don't want to think about English. You want to speak without thinking. You want it to be automatic. That's real communication. If we're going to talk about learning English quickly, I would say the most important rule, once you're focusing on sentences, communication instead of grammar, the third most important rule I would say would be listening. Listen first. Listen first. This is the key, listening first. Improve your listening and the rest will come. You see, when you were a baby and you were lying on your mother's arms, you weren't thinking present perfect continuous or third conditional. You were just listening, and from the listening, the rest of your language came. You've done it before. It's in your genetic makeup. Listen first. Master listening first, and the rest will come. Simple rules. How quickly? I don't really like to talk about how quickly, because how quickly depends on what you want. What's your target, yeah? Find your target. Then the rest will come, yeah? Define your target. And then, again, remember, 3 simple rules. Don't focus on single words. Focus on sentences. Don't focus on grammar. Focus on communication. And start with listening. Master listening, and the rest will come. They're my 3 simple tips. They work. All the studies show they work. Try them. So what I want to do now is I want to show you a simple little story, and in the comments below, perhaps you could tell me what the moral of the story is. Simple listening story, simple understanding. Write down for me what you think the moral of this story is. Good luck.
The Crow and the Pitcher. A crow, half dead with thirst, came upon a pitcher which had once been full of water. But when the crow put its beak into the mouth of the pitcher, he found that only very little water was left in it, and that he could not reach far enough down to get at it. He tried, and he tried, but at last had to give up in despair. Then a thought came to him, and he took a pebble and dropped it into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped it into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. At last, he saw the water mount up near him, and after casting in a few more pebbles, he was able to quench his thirst and save his life.